minute 24. But the Englishman is very, very much in control of things. And if Nigel wins this race, and it certainly looks as though he's going to at half distance, it means to say that he will be the English driver with the most Grand Prix victories. He's tying with Sterling Moss at the present moment on 16. This would be his 17th. And that is Stefano Modena now in 5th position. The race order, Mansell leading by 14 seconds. Patrese is 32 seconds ahead of Nelson Piquet in 3rd position. 4th is Alesi, 5th is Modena, 6th position is Capelli, and in 7th place Leto, the young Finnish driver who's having his first season in a real motor car which can be successful. That's the Dallara with the new Judd V10 engine, and you're looking at 3 times world champion Nelson Piquet, who has certainly come to the fore again since he started driving for Benetton. 2 victories last year, the last 2 races of the year in Japan and Australia. And this is a replay of... Oh, it's Bertrand Gachot taking Eric Comas, the Frenchman in the Ligier, moving up into 10th position. And that's Alesi. Prost is out, and it looks to me now as though Alesi is out. He's slowed right down, arm out. Past him goes Capelli and Leto. Past him goes Stefan Johansson in the footwork, deputising for Alex Caffey, who doesn't look as though he's going to be back in Grand Prix racing this year. And Alesi is definitely out.
Yes, that might have put a little oil on the circuit, just a little bit there, to test people and trip them up. But the sad saga of the Ferrari team in 1991 continues, and they've had a total management reshuffle recently, and but nothing seems to have changed on the racetrack, and they're very disconsolate. Alesi, he's going to sit on the wall, but I dare say they'll move him off there.
You can't sit there, Gav, I'm afraid. And Alesi will be moved off the wall, as he rightly should be, for safety reasons. And you're looking now at the battle for 5th position between Ivan Capelli in the Leighton house, and behind him, JJ Leto, the young Finnish driver in the Dallara, who finished 3rd at San Marino. It's only his 2nd season of Grand Prix racing. He's only 25 years old. He's got a lot of Grand Prix racing still left in him. Past the Olympic rowing strip on the right, the lake on the left, the lake on the right, and into the pits comes Patrese. White lap, and it's a puncture, right rear puncture. Look, he's lap 41 in the 69-lap race, and Riccardo Patrese is going to lose his 2nd position. That means to say that Nelson Piquet in the Benetton Ford V8 will go up into 2nd place. Indeed, he's done so while I'm talking to you. But Nigel Mansell is racing victoriously on his way. The car handling beautifully, the Renault V10 engine sounding superb. Nigel is pacing himself. And that is Nelson Piquet now in 2nd position. And Mansell's just gone round in 1 minute 23.21, which is the fastest lap of the race, and is just about 1.2 seconds outside Gerhard Berger's McLaren lap record. Patrese is back. You can see there's Riccardo Patrese. He's back in 6th position. He's ahead of Emanuele Pirro in the other Dallara, and he's lapped him.
Yes, bearing in mind that the lap record's a bit of an academic here, because the circuit has changed, as we see, is that Capelli. Capelli has stopped, so that's resolved his battle with JJ Leto. But it's been resurfaced, they've tightened up the chicane before the pits, so really there's no way to accurately compare.
And my heart goes out to the Leighton House team and to Capelli. They've been so near to points this year, and it looks as though they're not going to get any here in Canada. But nothing seems to be deterring Nigel Mansell. He has worked so hard for this. I remember the sensation when he announced that he was retiring from Grand Prix racing after the British Grand Prix last year, and then the other sensation when he said he wasn't retiring after all, he was going to be driving for Williams. And everybody in Britain certainly gave a loud huzzah at that. And it's coming good, because Nigel now on lap 45 out of 69 leads, and Patrese is on a charge too. Patrese is absolutely scything his way through the field on new tyres, of course. notwithstanding his sore neck, notwithstanding his sore chest, and he is up into 4th position. He rejoined the race in 6th place, and now on lap 46, Mansell leads Piquet by 58 seconds. In 3rd position, it's Stefano Modena. It was, because there he is in the pits for a new set of Pirellis, and there's a bit of a delay. This is a very slow, something like 13 or 14 seconds, and Stefano Modena rejoins. And meantime, Andrea De Cesaris in the Jordan Ford is carving his way through the field. He's just passed Pierluigi Martini, and De Cesaris is in the points. This is the first time this season that a Jordan Ford has actually been in the points, and they desperately need a point to avoid pre-qualifying.
And certainly De Cesaris is having his best season ever in terms of the way he's driving, and for that a lot of credit must go to Eddie Jordan. Eddie Jordan understands drives. We watch the replay as Gachot now passing Pierluigi Martini and into 7th place. The Jordan team really doing fantastically well for a new team, and Eddie Jordan certainly has got the best out of De Cesaris as a driver. He understands drivers, and he's taken the trouble to talk to him and work with him, and it really has shown up on the track, and De Cesaris is a happier man than ever before.
And I bet Nigel... Oh, J.J. Leto out of the race, and he was so nearly up into the points. Well, I don't know what the problem is, but another sad race for J.J. after finishing 3rd. Well, here he is. He's just going straight off the circuit. That's the corner where last year Alessandro Nannini went off, and shortly afterwards Alesi in the Tyrrell slammed into the Benetton and destroyed both the cars. So now lap 51, and Mansell leads. Piquet is 2nd. Those are the only 2 on the same lap, on lap 51 out of 69. In 3rd position, it is Riccardo Patrese carving his way up through the field, because he has passed Stefano Modena, who is 4th, and 5th and 6th now are the 2 Jordans. Well, they've gone from a drought to a lot of points, because at the present moment they are on a potential 3 points in the World Championship, with Andrea De Cesaris in 5th place, Bertrand Gachot in 6th position, and it's the first time Gachot's been in the points in his Grand Prix career. And I was talking about pre-qualifying, that dreaded hour between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock on Friday, when 8 competitors have to compete for 4 places to go forward for the official practice. Everybody loathes it, and Eddie Jordan's team loathe it as much as everyone else. And if they stay where they are now, De Cesaris and Gachot will avoid that happening after the British Grand Prix for Eddie Jordan's new Irish team. Beautiful car designed by Gary Anderson, the Ford HB engine, and this is the first race where the Jordan team have had the increased specification of Ford engine that the Benetton team used at the beginning of the year. And it's getting pretty thin on the ground now, I can tell you, because Suzuki's out, Berger, Alboreto, Morbidelli, Hakkinen, Senna, Prost, Bernard, Alesi, Capelli, J.J. Leto. This Canadian Grand Prix circuit, with its demands on braking and on the gearbox, not to mention fuel consumption, of course. And now this is Mansell and Patrese together.
Yes, and Patrese on fresh tyres and working hard to chase Piquet has caught Mansell. He's a lap behind, and Mansell lets him through. So Mansell obviously is in no hurry. He has something like a 50-second lead, and he can pace himself to Piquet, whereas Patrese from a lap behind stands a chance of catching.
Yes, great news for Mansell, great news for Williams, great news for Britain, because Nigel Mansell is indeed 51 seconds ahead of Nelson Piquet. And I think all Mansell's got to worry about now, as Stefan Johansson in his first drive for the Footwork Porsche team, he says the chassis is great, but the engine compared with the McLaren engine, which he's been testing in Japan, hasn't got the power that's needed. But as I was saying, Mansell has really just got to keep his concentration up now as you watch Stefano Modena, number 4, who is in 4th position, albeit a lap behind Mansell, who is leading Piquet by 51 seconds, with Riccardo Patrese in 3rd place, Modena that you're looking at in 4th position, and the 2 Jordan Fords of De Cesaris and Gasho are still 5th and 6th, ahead of Pierluigi Martini in the Minardi Ferrari, who is 7th. And I suppose the story of this race now is not just that the Williams are 1st and 2nd, not just that Nigel Mansell is in the lead for the first time this year and looking very much like staying there, but that not one McLaren, both McLarens are out of the race. There's Mansell. Senna said before this race began, the World Championship is not over. We're going to have a very hard time, and it looks as though he was absolutely right.
Yes, and the strange thing is that Mansell appears to have